A grand hall stretches before rows of seats filled with the Galactic Council's representatives. High-ranking delegates, with solemn expressions and imposing attire, sit silently, their eyes fixed on a speaker who stands at the center, Representative Thalker. A humanoid with emerald scales and piercing silver eyes, he embodies the authority and superiority the Council feels over all newcomers to their ranks. He looks around, taking in the approving nods and murmurs from the gathered members. Thalker speaks with a commanding tone. The planet Earth. Small, underdeveloped, barely making it to the stars. Yet they've crossed the threshold, have they not? There is ambition in them. He pauses, the faintest smirk appearing as he hears scattered scoffs and laughs from the delegates. We know this ambition well. It's the dangerous spark that, if left unchecked, grows into disruption, into chaos. One of the council members, a stocky delegate with blue skin and golden eyes, raises his voice. They are still learning, Representative. Mere fledglings in the vast sky of the galaxy. They'll fear what they cannot comprehend. Earth's resources are plentiful. It would be wise to take them under our guidance. A representative with jet black eyes and translucent wings interjects with a sneer. Or under our control. Murmurs of agreement ripple through the room. Thalker's gaze hardens. Precisely. They are a species of small, tribal minds, accustomed to conflict but ignorant of true power. If we do not harness them now, their flame may one day rise against us. A hush settles as the council members reflect on his words, feeling the weight of his prophecy. The assembly holds a shared belief in the council's superior wisdom, its role in maintaining balance, imposing order on civilizations too young to wield it themselves. Thalker continues, Therefore, I propose we issue them an ultimatum. They must surrender their autonomy, their resources, and allow us to guide them. In exchange, we will offer them protection. Protection, I believe, they are wise enough to accept. His tone holds an air of finality, as if there's no conceivable outcome beyond compliance. A counselor from a distant corner raises a brow. And if they resist? Thalker tilts his head, unbothered. Then they will learn what it means to defy the council. His words carry a chilling certainty. Most nod in agreement, secure in their position. Earth's fate, they believe, is already sealed. Thalker raises his hand to signal the transmission of the ultimatum, and the council chamber fills with silent anticipation, waiting for humanity's inevitable submission. Days pass, and Thalker receives word that the human leaders have responded. He smirks, expecting a concession. He stands in the council chamber again, prepared to read Earth's acceptance of their fate. But as he opens the message, his eyes narrow. The reply is brief, stark, and defiant. We reject your demands. Humanity stands united and will defend our right to freedom and self-determination. Do not mistake our resolve for weakness. Gasps ripple through the assembly. The council, a collection of species who long ago had learned to accept council rule, is stunned. Thalker's jaw clenches, but he quickly regains his composure, hiding the flicker of doubt that flashes in his eyes. One delegate mutters, Defiant to the end, it seems. Another, struggling to hide their disbelief, adds, Who do these humans think they are? Thalker composes himself, straightens, and speaks with forced calm. They are foolish, stubborn, and underestimating the might of our forces. Let them posture. They will bend when they see what awaits. But there is an undercurrent of unease. The Council's assumption that humanity would submit, that Earth would yield without question, has been shattered. A closed-door meeting gathers the world's leaders around a single table. Expressions are grim, but the shared sense of resolve is unmistakable. At the center of the table lies the message from the Galactic Council, cold, calculated, and unmistakably threatening. It demands Earth's complete submission, detailing the Council's expectations for compliance in exacting language. It is a list of ultimatums and terms, sparing no room for negotiation. In exchange, they offer only vague promises of protection. The Secretary General, a poised woman with an unwavering gaze, speaks first. So, we are to surrender our resources, our freedom, and become a silent cog in their empire. Her words hang in the air, as if challenging anyone to support such an idea. A leader from the other end of the table leans forward, his eyes narrowed. This isn't an offer, it's a declaration that they consider us theirs already. They see us as a weak, fractured planet ready to yield. A general, listening intently from the corner, clears his throat. They assume we'll kneel, that fear will make us malleable. But I believe they've miscalculated. We are not without strength or unity. Look at us here, united in purpose, even if it's for the first time in history. A murmur of agreement circulates around the table. Another leader speaks up, his voice filled with a calm conviction. The Council may have numbers, technology, experience. But they lack one thing, the will that arises from defending one's home, one's future. That is our advantage, and it's one they won't anticipate. After a thoughtful pause, the Secretary General nods and begins drafting a response to the Council, each word chosen with care, carrying the voice of a unified Earth. The message is simple, pointed, and resolute, affirming humanity's right to sovereignty and freedom. It states, "We will not yield. Our world is our own, and we are prepared to defend it." Leaders from every nation agree. They approve this declaration, recognizing that humanity's message must be unwavering, a line drawn in the cosmic sand. When the final words are set, the Secretary General reads them aloud for the room. "We do not seek war, but we will not bow." A profound silence follows as the weight of the message sinks in. It is an act of defiance, one that could cost them dearly, but in this moment, there is no turning back. They all understand the gravity of this stance. Preparations begin immediately. Scientists, engineers, and military experts from every corner of the world come together, forming teams to assess and prepare Earth's defenses. Earth's finest minds work tirelessly, innovating, refining, and testing new technologies. Nations put aside their differences to focus on a shared goal. For the first time, human ingenuity and resilience unite in an effort that transcends borders and past conflicts. Spacecraft, warships, and defense systems, long in the planning stages, are swiftly readied for deployment. Humanity, accustomed to solving problems from a position of vulnerability, pours all its resourcefulness into this effort. What the Council sees as primitive tech is, in the hands of a determined people, becoming formidable. There is a clear understanding among the teams. They are no longer just preparing for a threat, they are preparing to defend the human spirit itself. As preparations continue, a global message goes out to the people of Earth, delivered by the Secretary General. We have been given an ultimatum by a force that underestimates our unity, our strength. Today, we say to the stars, we stand together, and we will defend our right to freedom. Her words resonate across the globe, filling people with a sense of purpose and determination. Across every city and town, humanity responds. Volunteers gather to support the cause, and scientists push the limits of their fields. Humanity's history of survival against insurmountable odds becomes a collective memory, a reminder that they've faced down every challenge, and they will face this one too. As the message is finally transmitted back to the Galactic Council, there is no hesitation. Humanity's defiance, sent into the cosmos, stands as an act of courage and defiance, one that challenges the Council's preconceptions of a weak, fearful species. The Galactic Council sits in a tense silence, their grand hall no longer filled with smug satisfaction but with an undeniable sense of unease. Earth's response, so brief yet resolute, has shaken them. As the words, "We will not yield," echo through the minds of the delegates, they realize humanity is not what they assumed. Council members exchange wary glances, the previous confidence in their control over this lesser species faltering. One of the council members, a thin, wiry being with glowing amber eyes, finally breaks the silence. They refuse to submit. A species so young, and they speak to us as if they are our equals. He almost spits the words, struggling to comprehend the audacity. Thalkur's demeanor is uncharacteristically strained. They must be bluffing. This is bravado, a thin veneer hiding their fear. We have seen such defiance before, and it crumbles with the mere sight of our power. Another council member, a stoic and calculating diplomat with skin like polished stone, shifts in his seat. Is that truly so? They have sent us a message without apology or concession. We assumed they would see reason, yet they challenge our authority without hesitation. His gaze meets Thalker's, questioning the Council's assumptions. Data streams into the chamber as analysts bring up new intelligence gathered from Earth's recent actions. They present holograms and projections of Earth's military movements, technological adaptations, and weapon systems, each more advanced than the Council had anticipated. The humans are preparing for conflict, not as a species backed into a corner, but as one strategically coordinating a defense. A murmur spreads through the delegates. They had dismissed Earth's technological progress as primitive, but now it's clear that humanity has transformed its limited resources into a formidable defense system. The images show rows of warships, advanced weaponry, and a united force never before seen on a single planet. The polished stone diplomat observes this and remarks, "Their resolve is troubling. Despite the threats they face, they act without fear. They display no inclination toward retreat, nor do they seem to doubt their chances. Their unity, it is almost alien to them, yet here they are, standing as one." Thalker clenches his jaw, attempting to suppress the mounting unease. This is merely a show. We've seen civilizations attempt such displays before. They will falter at the first demonstration of our might. The stoic diplomat's gaze narrows. Are you certain, representative? What we see here is not empty posturing. They know the power we wield, yet they refuse to yield. What drives them to such extremes? An older council member, her voice soft yet sharp, interjects. Perhaps they value freedom above life itself. To challenge the council, to refuse our mercy, they must hold their autonomy as a principle beyond compromise. The room falls silent again, the implications unsettling even the most confident of them. For civilizations accustomed to bowing before the council's power, the notion of a species willing to face destruction rather than submission is almost incomprehensible. Thalker, visibly frustrated, raises his voice, attempting to restore order and confidence. Enough of this doubt. We cannot allow a mere planetary species to disrupt the order of our galaxy. Their defiance must be met with a response that ensures no other civilization dares to follow their path. We will deploy a fraction of our fleet near their system. A mere show of force will serve to correct their course. The delegates nod, though the confidence in their agreement is noticeably dimmer than before. They approve Thalker's plan, authorizing a deployment of ships toward Earth as a warning. The fleet's movement is swift, calculated, and intended to intimidate. As they receive images of the Council's ships advancing towards Earth's borders, some Council members feel a brief surge of confidence. But the polished stone diplomat watches intently, concern still etched on his features. And if this show of force fails? Thalker dismisses him with a wave of his hand. It will not. These humans do not truly understand the Council's power. When they see our ships surrounding their solar system, they will have no choice but to bow. The holographic projection of Earth's forces remains on display in the Council chamber, a stark reminder of humanity's readiness. As the Council members disperse, Thalker forces himself to ignore the lingering unease, a feeling gnawing at the back of his mind that perhaps, this time, things may not proceed as planned. The vastness of space stretches endlessly as the Galactic Council's fleet approaches the edge of Earth's solar system. Their ships, a formidable array of sleek, advanced vessels, form an imposing line, a silent message of intimidation. They hover just beyond Earth's borders, waiting for humanity's inevitable reaction. Inside the lead ship, a Council commander, stoic and unyielding, observes the display of Earth's defenses on a large screen. Earth's forces are assembled, smaller in number but positioned strategically with surprising precision. Their ships, though lacking the sleek design of the Council's, possess a rugged durability. This unanticipated organization catches the commander's eye, but he quickly dismisses it. Primitive machinery, he mutters, more to reassure himself than anyone else. A signal comes through from the Council. Thalker's voice is calm, authoritative. Broadcast to the humans. Inform them that we await their surrender. The message is sent to Earth, and the Council's fleet holds its position. But instead of submission, they receive a single, concise reply. "We are prepared to defend our home." The Council Commander frowns. This is not the response he anticipated. Moments later, Earth's fleet advances, engines humming with a unified purpose. Human ships, previously positioned defensively, now move forward, taking formation in a slow but resolute march toward the Council's ships. There's no hint of hesitation in their approach. The commander hesitates, feeling a creeping unease as he watches the screen. He expected fear, perhaps a plea for mercy. But what he sees instead is a calculated move, one that only a determined and prepared species would make. He turns to his second-in-command. "They dare to advance on us? They must know the odds." The second-in-command nods, though he too seems taken aback. "It appears they are not deterred, sir." Inside one of Earth's ships, the human commander opens a line to the Council's lead ship. Her voice is calm, firm, carrying the weight of every human who stands with her. "You entered our system uninvited. You seek to take what is ours by force. But know this, we will not yield our home, no matter the price." The Council Commander, now visibly frustrated, replies, "Your courage is foolish. You stand no chance against our technology, our numbers." The human commander's response is unwavering. "Perhaps. But we have a history of defying those who underestimate us. And I assure you, we do not stand alone. We stand with every human who has fought for freedom, for survival. If this is to be our last stand, then we make it knowing that we fight not for conquest, but for the right to exist as we are." There is a pause as her words echo across the line. The Council Commander stares at the screen, seeing humanity's ships advancing steadily, undeterred, closing the distance between the two forces. He realizes that Earth's fleet, though smaller, holds its formation with a precision that speaks of unbreakable resolve. They are not stalling. They are daring him to act. Inside the Council's flagship, the tension is palpable. The second-in-command, sensing the commander's hesitation, speaks softly. "Sir, their resolve, it's unlike anything we've faced. They are prepared to fight until the end." The Council Commander clenches his fists, grappling with a decision he never thought he would face. Everything in his training has taught him that such defiance should be met with overwhelming force. But now he finds himself questioning whether an assault on Earth would end in victory or something much darker, a war that could ignite a resistance across the galaxy. If humanity's courage became a rallying point for other civilizations, the cost could be far greater than anticipated. Thalkur's voice crackles over the calm, impatient. "Commander, are you prepared to proceed?" The commander hesitates, glancing again at the determined line of Earth's ships, at the unyielding expression on the human commander's face. He senses something stirring in him, a rare respect for a species that would choose extinction over submission. He addresses Thalkur with a quiet resolve. "Permission to withdraw, representative. Earth may be more trouble than we initially assessed." Thalkur's tone sharpens. "Withdraw? You are tasked with securing their compliance." The Council Commander replies, his voice steely. "Perhaps, representative, but forcing them may only create allies against us. I suggest we leave them as they are, an example of what defiance leads to, but not one we wish to ignite further." There's a heavy silence on the other end. Thalkur's approval is begrudging, but he cannot ignore the consequences of a larger uprising. Finally, he responds. "Very well. Return to Council space." The transmission ends. The commander gives the order, and to humanity's surprise, the Council's fleet begins its slow retreat. Earth's forces hold their position, watching as the Council's ships recede into the distance, their threat averted, for now. Back on Earth, a quiet resolve settles over the planet. Humanity understands that this was only the beginning, that their defiance may bring more challenges. But for now, they have made their stand, and in the silent void of space, their message resounds: Earth may be young, but it will never bow.